Hi, I got something for you. This. But I'm not giving this because it's a special occasion and I'm not giving it for you to decorate your room. I'm giving these tiny white flowers and a thin stem specimen. And this is what we're going to use in the experiment today. To show how water or to observe how water climbs up a plant from the soil to the topmost part of the plant, we are going to take a transparent glass, we're going to take some water, and we're going to take some dye. Now this dye needs to be safe, natural and organic so that we don't pollute the water, we don't harm the soil or the plant that we are using, right? For that reason, I am using turmeric as my dye. Now the turmeric water is ready. We're going to use this turmeric water as our medium, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to take the flowers that I gave you earlier, okay? You're going to make a cut in the end, a nice sharp cut. I've already done that, okay? And we're going to place this inside of our turmeric water. Now after waiting for about an hour or so, my specimen, let me bring that there, yeah, my specimen has become a lot more yellow than before. So this is what the before and the after looks like. What is the observation? The observation is that when I kept the plant in the yellow turmeric water, the plant absorbed, pulled or took in the yellow water from the grass and it traveled all the way till the top. This is why we water plants at the soil, not by throwing water on top of the trees, right? It's more meaningful to water plants at the soil because that's where the roots are and that's how the plant goes in. Now this much we all know. But what exactly is happening inside the stem? Yeah, something must be happening for the stem to be able to pull the water against gravity. Now I take anything and I drop it. Yeah, now when I dropped it, it fell to the ground very easily because of gravity. Now I need to take this and I need to travel all the way up. I do not have any other mechanism other than the stem itself. What possible conclusions can you think of? How did the water travel all the way up there? Let's break that down. First of all, how did it travel in the sense what route did it take? It took the route, whichever route the stem was in. So I'm going to understand that there is a channel inside that stem which is connected to all the parts of the body. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a little easier, okay, and I'm going to bring in some Lego blocks. Great, now we have our Lego boxes. I have made two channels like this, okay, and I'm going to understand them to be the walls of a stem. Okay, imagine we have a stem and it's being cut this way. After being cut, this is what we're viewing. Okay, so that must mean that these are the inside walls of the stem and then we have the outside. Okay, now this is the inside channel that we have, and through this channel somebody, in this case water, needs to climb up this channel. Now imagine this is the inside of the stem and you have water at the bottom. Now this water is not a single molecule, right? There are a lot of water molecules, a lot of them. Now these need to climb up. One support that it can take is by attaching itself to the stem. That is the inner walls of the stem, and climb up. Yeah. So this way because it is having the support of the stem, it's able to stand against gravity. But there is no suction involved, there is no other mechanism involved other than the fact that water is using the inner part of the stem as support. Now all of these guys cannot simply stick with just the walls, yeah, because there's so much of water molecules. Okay, so what is going to happen is these guys are going to catch each other. Okay, one water molecule and the other, they're going to catch each other. Yeah, they're going to catch each other, and one guy is going to do the climbing business. So what that is happening is, while the water is climbing with the support, there is another water molecule which is taking the help of the first pioneer water molecule, and this way you will see that the entire space in the channel is being used up, because one thing that the water is doing is taking support of the inside of the stem. Another thing that it is doing is water and water are cooperating with each other. They are sticking to each other, they are pulling each other close and making the climb. So because of these two supportive mechanisms, water is able to climb up. Yes, if this logic is making sense to you, then let's add some science to it. Okay, now the channel inside the stem that carries water from the soil to the topmost part of the plant, that channel is known as xylem. Okay, xylem carries water from the soil all the way to the top of the plant. Now that's out. Now I told you that water takes support by attaching or clinging itself to the inner walls of the channel. Now we're going to call the channel as xylem. Okay, now the mechanism in which water attaches itself to the inner walls of the xylem is called as adhesion. Adhesion is the mechanism in which there is an attraction between water and the inner walls of xylem. Okay, this support helps water to climb up. Now another force of attraction which happens for this support or climb to happen is the water and water cooperation. Okay, so the word for this kind of sticking is cohesion. Okay, cohesion is when you have water and water which stick to each other while making this climb. Okay, so we have two different forces, supportive mechanical forces. Why mechanical? Because I am not using any energy, I am not using any ATP for this process to happen. It is not an active process. Okay, this movement is a passive movement. Okay, and this passive movement happens via two different supportive mechanisms. One is cohesion and the other one is adhesion. Okay, now cohesion and adhesion help in the upward movement of water through xylem, and this action of water moving upwards is called as capillary action.